what I told Michael, so
Okay.
there we are.
Couple of
Okay,
years
we're on
old.
air, folks. All right. Well, welcome everyone this evening, and we have just a little bit different order of business. So we have our Albany Revitalization Agency meeting prior to our city council meeting. But I promise this is just going to be a very short, brief meeting, and we just need to conduct a little bit of routine business before our council meeting. So I will turn it over to the chair of the ARA, which is Councilor Collins.
Thank you, Mayor. Call the meeting to order, please. Roll call, Mary.
Olson.
Here.
Collins.
Here.
Johnson. Here. Kellum.
Here.
Kupczynski.
Here.
Coburn.
Here.
Canopa.
Here.
First item on the agenda is business from the public, and we always entertain any comments from the people in the public who like to speak at ARA. Does anyone like to speak to us tonight? Seeing none, agenda item 3B is the appointment of the Care Advisory Board, which is found on page 2. There's 2 reappointments.
Move for reappointments as listed.
Second.
There's a motion to approve and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of the reappointment say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Business 3C, any staff updates? Kate?
Yes, please. Just one quick item for you. This is an information item. We, a while back, had a resolution for a small grant in the amount of $5,000 for the PIX Theater. This grant was never drawn upon, nor were contracts ever drawn up, but the resolution has been out there. And since then, the ownership of the PIX has changed. And so I've been in contact with the new owners who are here with us tonight, and they would like to take advantage of this grant that was already on the books for the very same purpose of exterior work to the building, which I think is a great idea. The resolution itself does not need to be updated because it only names the PIX Theater. We're going to make an addendum in the file, but I wanted to make you aware that we're going to move forward with this $5,000 grant for them. But again, to underline, there's no additional funds going out. This is a request for more funds. And with that, the Bigners are here tonight, so I'd like to introduce them to you just really briefly. Rod and Denise Bigner are here in the audience, and I think they might like to say hello real quick.
Welcome.
Welcome to Albany. Thank you for taking over the theater, and we look forward to great things from it.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. Is there any business from the agency? Seeing none, our next meeting is scheduled for January the 15th on Wednesday. And with that, we're adjourned. Back to you, Mayor. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Ready, Mary? Okay. And so now I'll call to order the city council meeting. And would you like to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Point of order. There is no comma after,
One nation.
before, one nation.
Uh-huh.
It's one nation under God.
Uh-huh.
No need for hesitation.
You know what? But I noticed almost everyone does it about that same way,
Well,
even
yeah,
with the
it used
Legion.
Well, because it used to be, back when, before they put under God in there, that's where the breath was.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. So, okay. Roll call, Mary.
Olson. Collins.
Here.
Johnson. Here. Kellum.
Here.
Kupczynski.
Here.
Coburn.
Here.
Canopa.
Here. Okay. Okay, council, the first scheduled business is communication. This one's accepting Ron Tahar's resignation from the Airport Advisory Commission. This is on page 3. What would you like to do with that item?
Move to accept his resignation and send him a letter of appreciation for his service.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. Bessie?
Just a comment. The Airport Commission has done a remarkable job. They may be only at advisory, but all those members just take this really to heart to make it what it is. I mean, they do more out there than most commissions do. I mean, because they're so involved. And it saddens me that the fence issue had to be the straw that broke the camel's back that made Ron think he to resign. I think, we discussed this, I know, at our last meeting, when we passed the resolution or ordinance, that especially with the Airport Commission, they're out there all the time, and that we maybe listen to them a little bit more or get the communication going a little bit better, because Ron's was a good member of that commission. And, I think we just have to make sure that things get brought up and we discuss them before we, even if we have to table it for a meeting and stuff, and really get into it rather than just getting the information at one meeting and then saying, well, yep, that's what we're going to do. I think we just need to take their advice more into the solving of the problems. And so I regret that Ron's resigning, excuse me.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Okay, next is business from the public. Anyone have an item they'd like to bring forward tonight? Yes, Greg?
Good evening. My name is Greg Bechtel. I live at 978 Ferry Street Southwest. I am the Chief Financial Officer of Albany Alternative Health Solutions. In October, we came before you and we told you who we were and what we do. And at that time, we said we were not looking to start a fight with the city and that we wanted information from the city. We asked what you needed to feel comfortable with what it was that we did and the plans that we had to go forward. There is a certain degree of hypocrisy for us to come before you and say that we're not looking to start a fight and then not listen when you give us that answer. And on Monday, I feel that we received our answer, and that answer was time. You are currently working on a process, excuse me, as I said Monday, I'm still fighting this thing, that you're working on a process right now that does take time, and we appreciate that, and we want to ensure that the city has the time to do the process that it needs and to talk to the people of the city. And so we essentially will give you that time. Any other commercial business would likely say no, it's on our schedule because we are the ones that are impacted, not the city. We are not any other commercial business, and we feel that a short-term gain right now could be detrimental long-term to patients. And if we push this process, that it's unnecessary, and we've waited 1.5 years. We can wait a few more months. So take your time, do what you need to do, and we, as a commercial entity, will not be dispensing medical marijuana until we are licensed by the state to do so, which could happen in March. Again, it's a process that we have to apply to, and it may never even come to pass that we get an application. I'm a realist. I understand this process. So I would still like to invite all of you out to our open house this Saturday because we are duty-bound to educate the public. And again, there will be no marijuana on site on Saturday at all. It is still an educational opportunity for the public. And I would love to see each and every one of you there as maybe a late birthday present to me. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. And I know that it's the policy that the city doesn't normally talk to the public in this section, but as usual, I'm open to questions.
Questions? Yeah, Dick and Bill?
What time of day is that open house?
10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Yes, sir, all day long. And again, I just want to reiterate, there will not be any medical marijuana on premises at all. So, please, again, come out with the expectation that we're going to walk you through the process, but you're not going to get any marijuana, no matter how hard you ask. Dick?
Oh, on the address?
Oh, it's 820 Pacific Boulevard Southeast.
Gotcha. Thank you.
It's right across from the Game Exchange.
Okay, any other questions? All right, okay. Thank you, Greg.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else for business from the public? Okay. Yeah,
I'm going to say I had a little trouble finding 820, isn't it? 810? And stopped in a couple of different places and told them what we were looking for. One guy said, well, I hope you score some good bud. And I thought that my appetite is looking to score.
It's the beard.
Bud, but I guess you never know. Maybe if I got rid of the beard, he would.
Ah, you old hippie.
Yeah.
Yeah, grow your hair a
Must be
little
the
longer.
beard. Well, it looks like we have some Boy Scouts with us this evening. Did anyone want to state which troop number you're from, or would you like to come to the podium? I'm going to come to the podium, and you can state your name and what troop you're from, and are you all the same troop or two different troops?
Well, we are the same
Okay.
troop. Yeah, we're from Troop 99. He's Rory and I'm Richard. So, yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
And
Um,
we're working on a merit badge, and one of the requirements is to attend a city council meeting and write about a subject where a difference of opinions were expressed and tell which one we preferred or agreed with and why.
Wonderful. Well, we don't have a lot on our agenda this evening, so we might maybe in 2 weeks, but you can always, on our city website, we have every one of our meetings, on our council meetings are videotaped, so you're actually can be on TV right now, and on Channel 28 on Comcast, or you can get online and you can be able to watch this meeting and it's video streamed, videotaped, and you can be able to watch every one of our city council meetings that are the second and the fourth Wednesday of the month. And so maybe if there's not a topic this evening that you wanted to write about, you can look back on some of our other meetings and find a topic there. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yes, sir, yeah.
I'm Justin, Troop 100, and merit badge as well.
Oh, wonderful.
All right,
Great.
thank you.
Yeah, did you guys know the 2 troops were coming tonight? No? Well, thank you for attending, thank you. And actually, you're going to be lucky tonight, because this is probably one of our shorter meetings. Sometimes we might go on till 10 or 11 o'clock at night, so you'll have it easy tonight, but, yeah, but thank you. Okay, council, we have a first reading of the ordinance, so, like that first reading read?
Yes, ma'am.
Page 4.
Yep. This is an ordinance to levy assessments against properties specifically benefited by sewer and water connections in the assessment of sewer, parks, and transportation systems development charges, and property described as tax lot 1208 of parcel 11S 3W8CB 01208, and site address 1605 Oak Street Southeast, and declaring an emergency.
I'll make a motion the ordinance be read a second time in title only.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, second reading.
An ordinance to levy assessments against property specially benefited by sewer and water connections in the assessment of sewer, parks, and transportation systems development charges, and property described as tax lot 1208 of parcel 11S 3W8CB 1208, site address 1605 Oak Street Southeast, and declaring an emergency.
I'll make a motion for adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
I just wanted to ask
Tracy?
one question. I'm sorry Mark isn't here tonight. I noticed that these charges for this one building are more than half of the others combined. And I just wondered, is that normal also? It says that this one is $119,000, and the one that we passed the other, not too long ago was 250 some.
248.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bessie, all I can
1058.
say is that it's based on a formula that involves the number of connections and, sort of projected impact on the city's infrastructure. So it better be normal in the sense that it follows the formula that's prescribed by the ordinance.
Yeah, it just seemed odd that the one building, I mean, I know it's a rec building and things like that, probably has more water or whatever, but that it was more than half of all the other buildings combined with all the units. And so, I don't know, it just didn't look right, but I'm sure it's the same, right formula.
Well, yeah, and I can certainly ask Mark to if you'd like some additional information, I can ask him to get it to you. He's got the flu that I think has affected everybody tonight, and we thought we'd give him the night off, given that the agenda was
Didn't
pretty
want to
light.
catch
Definitely, yeah. No priority or anything, it's just a question. All right, thank you.
Yep.
We got the address of this parcel, but, folks out there do not have a map. Would it be possible in the future to, this is on the corner of Oak and Queen, so it will tell people out in TV land where it is, so they don't have to look at a map?
Sir, it's on the corner of Oak and Queen.
Thank you.
Shows it on the
We're here
map.
to serve. We will try, I guess sometimes we take it for granted because we do provide maps, in the council packet and so on, but, sure. We will.
Well, it shows us, but it doesn't,
Yeah.
if you don't have a map, it's a little tough.
Well, one of the problems is, we're reading formalized legal addresses. If we compromise that by kind of colloquial addresses, we run the risk of some confusion in the ordinance. So if there's a staff report where it's explained, that would be easy to do. If all that we have is the description that's in the ordinance itself, we probably need to keep that fairly precise.
Oh, sure.
Something added to, not something
Yeah.
instead of. I mean, before or after or around or.
Okay, I would suggest it's going to have to be in a staff report.
Okay, all right, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Okay, next is,
Your Honor. I wonder if it would be helpful for the audience if we explain briefly, either the manager or yourself, explain what we just did. I think we all know what we did, but it might be
So-
helpful to the audience.
so when it comes to, these were levying assessments, so.
Now, do they know what an assessment is or a levy?
Probably not,
has to
but
do
an
with money.
assessment would be, this is new development, so it's an apartment complex that is being constructed on Queen and Oak. And so each unit or each dwelling that is built in the city of Albany is assessed a fee for paying for the capacity of city infrastructure, like parks, storm drains, for sewer, for water, streets. So they all pay this fee. So what happens is then when they're connecting, before they can get occupancy of, final approval, and when their complex is built, they have to make sure that they pay these fees ahead of time. These fees all go into a certain fund that pays for improvements of the infrastructure, that's capacity-driven projects on that. I hope that helped, but if that's something you did want to put down for part of your reporting to get your merit badge, you're welcome to call me, and I'd love to meet with you too if you'd like to, and to be able to understand it more, so I'm open to that.
Mayor, just one point of clarification, that the fees are due and payable, but what we've just done is allow the property owners to finance them with interest over a 10-year period. So they don't have to pay them all up front. They have to make arrangements to have them paid. And we've accepted a 10-year financing mechanism.
So their assessment is sort of like their bill,
Right.
is kind of what they have their bill due. Okay, and was that sufficient?
Yeah, that's-
Okay, all right.
Unless they have
So next is adoption of the consent calendar. Any items you'd like to have pulled off or approval?
I'll make a motion for adoption of the consent calendar.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, and Mary, there was only on page 14, I had noticed there was just a little typo, and it was actually the fourth paragraph down. It said Oak Creek when it's supposed to be Cox Creek, so it's just a little typo.
That's next. Yeah, they're in.
Okay, next we have on page 30, 31, this is city boards, commissions. This is probably a year that we don't have as many openings that we usually do, and we had a lot of reappointments and a lot of great applicants that we had this time, that we're trying to be able to fill as many as we can. There were several that applied that we didn't have room for, but we will be letting all of them know that when there's openings during the year, that their application will still be on file. Everybody receives an acknowledgement, a letter. Betsy?
Yeah, I was just going to say, as I was going through the pile of the applicants and then going through the matrix that showed everything, and I just noticed that with the I think it's the Landmarks Committee, that almost every commission member is from Ward 1.
And actually it has been. That one has some defined rules to who's to be on that committee, and it's usually a lot of it's to have historic preservation
Yeah.
experience on
But I
that.
it just kind of jumped
And to
out
have like
at
an
me,
architect,
you know,
things like
that,
that.
because I think there was one from another ward, and then there were some applicants from other wards, and so I'd kind of like to, make sure that we spread it out as much as can.
Right, yeah. And the two of those are reappointments, which actually, Larry Preston, I can't remember where he lives, but Bill Riles is actually North Albany. So he'd be filling that kind of architect requirement. Okay, and so what would you like to do with this item on page 30?
Move to accept.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. And next is, this one's the audit committee. So this one's a little bit different. This is the council appointing the members. And so two of them are up, which is my seat and then Susan Folden's, who's under the budget committee. And I think Bessie's on the committee and Ray is on the committee. So you would need to ratify the reappointments.
Move to ratify the reappointments.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? And I think I've did that correctly this time, yeah. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. And next is business from the council. So, Rich, do you have anything this evening?
No.
Okay, Ray?
Good.
Okay, Floyd?
Not tonight, thank you.
All right, Bessie?
Well, I did. I talked to Mike Cox earlier this morning, and I had emailed Wes and then talked to Marilyn also about it. But I just wondered, has any of the council had any problems when they go to Channel 28 in viewing or hearing what's on?
I did just talk to Michael about it.
I mean, he explained it to me and
You
everything.
can barely hear it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but, I'm thinking that either we get it working or we take it off. I mean, it really looks bad.
What I noticed is on our one cable box on one of the TVs, it works fine. It's the one that comes through the on-demand box is where I can't hear it. So is yours on one of those on-demand boxes? That's it. But on the other regular cable box, you can hear it.
Yeah, so, and that's something, for our audience to know.
And I've asked
because
other people, they can hear it, but they don't have that on-demand box. So something, it filters it out evidently. Yeah.
The problem, and I think this, Michael probably explained it, but what we're sending out is fine. And of course, if you go online, you get a perfectly clear, recording or broadcast. So our problem is trying to convince Comcast or seeing if Comcast can do something to adjust for whatever is happening with these particular boxes. First I heard about it was today. We can at least give them a call and see if there's something.
I think so, because, I have heard of many people in the past, before the switchover, I guess, they liked they watch it from their homes on 28 and seemed to enjoy it and kept, advised of what's going on. And now the way it is don't want them to have to go to the computer unless, because they like to sit in the living room and watch it and stuff. So yeah, Wes, if you could do anything on that, I'd really appreciate it.
We can at least try.
Either that or just take it off.
Yeah, I've got the same problem.
Yeah.
The little numbers that indicate the sound, I usually watch at about 25. And Channel 28, here sits the council, and I turn it up to 35, and all I hear is a garble.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
And you can hear a sound, but it's all just garble, so there's no point in watching it. So
Censorship.
I agree with Bessie, that I think it makes us look bad to have just this garble on there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth checking into, so,
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, all right, Bill?
Probably a question for Wes. I was unable to attend the Monday work session, but I understand there was a discussion on the marijuana dispensaries, and you and I had spoken earlier about the potential costs for the procedures that we might be going through, and
Well, the process, the land use process, I think as I indicated, it is not an extraordinarily costly process in the sense of requiring outside consultants or, the kinds of things that tend to drive our costs up. The cost to us is, our staff time and whatever materials, are involved, which it wouldn't be too extensive. I didn't ask staff to give me an hourly accounting of what they thought they would use in support of this, but it's a pretty small change. Jim, I think you wrote one paragraph.
One sentence.
One sentence, so.
But it is a lawyer's sentence.
Yeah, it's a long sentence. So it's like a sentence that looks like a paragraph.
Yeah.
And, and I think the issues are fairly clear, so, again, I think, long and short, I don't think it's a very expensive or extraordinary expense for us.
Well, the only other supplement I would give to that is that at the end of the process, if the council makes the decision to amend the development code, then if there's an appeal, there's going to be appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals. If there is such an appeal, customarily costs for that kind of thing are in the $10,000 range.
Yeah, there is always that possibility.
so where are we at in the process, and what's the next step?
The next step is a hearing before the Planning Commission, which I believe is January 27th, and based on, and then I believe the next council meeting is when the scheduled, the following council meeting, which would be first council meeting in February, would be the scheduled hearing before the city council.
That'd be a public hearing?
Yeah, and you would receive at that point the recommendation of the Planning Commission.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that my boy Jerry got a Eagle Scout award from Troop 99 33 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been around a long time.
Good to see Troop 99 guys here.
Yeah. Goodness, yeah. So how many years has Troop 99 been in existence in Albany? Any idea? Wow.
It's longer than that.
75 years?
Wow.
Oh, that's wonderful. How about Troop 100? Any idea? I'm putting you on the spot, aren't
Be
I?
just a little bit less.
Most people in the troop remember.
Oh, okay. Good answer. That's a good
Troops
one.
are sequential.
He deserves a merit on that one. Yeah. Okay, anything else, Dick?
No.
Okay. And the only thing I had, this was put on my desk, was
1960.
Friends of Albany Library Program is having an event this Friday at noon at our Albany Library, and this would be to join Chef Matt Morse, and it's over his trip that they had to Italy, and over food and wine and their experience on that. So I'll just pass these down, you can look at them, and,
We have one.
oh, you do have it.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, good.
Staff has beat you to the punch.
Yeah.
Anybody that's interested in polar exploration, there's a program on public broadcasting tonight about Ernest Shackleton's expedition to the South Pole, and how it looked like it was going to be a major tragedy, but I won't tell you the ending, because it's really a great story.
I've read several books on that. That's a phenomenal story.
Yeah, their ship gets crushed in the ice, and starts kind of late, starts at 10, so I think our meeting's going to be over in time. But I don't know if those merit badge guys can stay up that late or not.
Might be able to videotape it.
Yeah, well, we can videotape it if you got that capability.
Or the DVR.
But it's a good story, really
Yeah.
good story.
Okay, so that was it, and that's it for me. And Wes, anything?
Just a reminder for your calendars, the Budget Committee, the first sort of organizing meeting of the Budget Committee is scheduled, I believe, for January 29th. You got Good, Stuart, you're, right, Stuart's got that now. January 29th, we will be bringing back to you some of the recommendations that we had picked up from some members of the Budget Committee last year regarding changing schedules and, how we do the presentations and so forth. So just to keep that in mind as we prepare for that event.
Okay, great. Anything else, staff?
Question for Weston. Status on the letters to the potential replacement for Ray's?
Kate,
who's gone.
We lost Kate. Sent out a number of letters, and I haven't heard back. I don't know that she's had any responses to those letters, but I know that she's...
The letters are gone?
Oh, yeah, at least that's what I was
her
told. So.
TV appearance.
Pardon?
And her TV appearance.
Right. She's certainly... And I believe she's also been in contact with the owner of the building, which is actively marketing it. I think there was an article in the paper about that the other day. So.
Yeah, good. Okay. Marilyn, did you have anything?
Just a reminder, next Wednesday is Martin Luther King's birthday, and we're doing a public reading of his I Have a Dream speech in the plaza at noon. We have, I believe it's 10 volunteer readers, including someone who attended the 1963 March on Washington and heard the speech live.
Wow,
So
cool.
that should be pretty nice.
What time of day?
Noon.
And you have me down for speaking.
I do.
And putting in a large font, so I don't have to work.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I know.
We'll be prepared.
All right, thank you. Okay, with that, so we do have CARE meeting next week, and we don't have a work session before our next regular session, because that's a holiday for Martin Luther King Day, and so then our next regular session is January 22nd, and with that, we're adjourned, and thank you folks for attending.